morning, everybody. Thank you so much for coming together this Friday, December 9th. This is the last Lisa Parento Team Mastermind of 2022. Looking forward to an amazing year next year, but I could not be more excited and more thrilled to welcome our guest today for a number of reasons. Primarily, I think because you're a fabulous power of example for us at eXp Realty for sure. But Jana is one of the Luxury Advisory Council members with eXp Realty. And many of you that know any one of us agents who sell some luxury real estate know that we've had a challenging relationship with the lack of luxury resources at eXp Realty. And Jana has worked with a number of folks for a while now in helping to create an amazing platform that is something we are all so excited about. And I know she's going to share some of that with us. A little bit of background. Jana is actually a realtor in two places. One of them is Northwest Indiana, and the other is in the Southwest Florida market. And one of the things I love in looking at your bio, Jana, it says that her team live, work, give, and serve in all of these communities. So in Southwest Florida, as well as in Northwest Indiana. And in Northwest Indiana, I understand that she is the largest selling team and group in that entire area. And one of the really great things about Jana is that I didn't even know this. I got to find out more about this. On her website, there is a testimonial from one of my mentors, Barbara Corcoran. And that's like amazing to me. Oh my God, how does Barbara Corcoran actually trust and recommend Jana and her team? So that's kind of amazing. So Jana this morning is going to be sharing an amazing presentation called the 4 M's of Luxury. And I have to just mention that 2 days ago, she, as well as Tina Call, who is one of the other founding Luxury Advisory Council members, co-wrote an article that was published on Riz Media. And I posted it out on my Facebook, and it was the 3 M's of luxury. And I said, well, hello, Jana is going to share the 4 M's of luxury with us. So there's a special M that we're going to get today among all of the other gems that she's going to drop on us. She's going to drop an extra M. So everybody, please take notes, get your questions together. She's going to do a presentation and then I think really answer some questions that some agents might have about the rollout of the new program. So with no more further ado from me, I would love to turn this over to you, Jana. You have control of the screen if you'd like. I think, Raymar, do you want to just spotlight Jana, or I guess it'll go to her PowerPoint.
Actually, I have no PowerPoint.
Okay.
So,
all right. There you go.
Just got me.
All right, great.
I'm not a PowerPoint girl, just so you all know. I'm a very just real, you get me as I am. I'm a pencil and paper kind of gal. My cell phone, just went off. Actually, my best friend was calling me. She always tends to call right in the middle of something like this too. But no, I'm just going to be me today, and I'm just going to talk and share and give. And, I'm definitely going to cover a lot of misconceptions, honestly, about luxury and about getting started in luxury or being in the luxury arena. But then also those 3 M's that we wrote about in that article, but I added an M for fun, and I think I'm going to incorporate the group in that little thing too. So just a little bit about me. Like Lisa said, I've been doing this for 26 years. And, it's been a journey for sure. I was born and raised on a Holstein dairy farm, and I grew up in a very, very small little town. And so, for me to make the money that I've made in my career in real estate, and to have what we have, and to even sell luxury homes and live in a luxury home, et cetera, is just almost, in my wildest dreams. So that's obviously one of the M's that we're going to talk about, which is mindset. And part of that. So, but I do have 2 real estate teams. One is in Northwest Indiana, knew no one in that single town at all when I arrived there, and didn't even, have a real estate career. And when I got into real estate, I decided if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it very well, and I'm going to give it my all and just be the best of the best. So from day one, I joined a group called Star Power. Actually, it was a Howard Brinton seminar, a real estate training group. And that was where a lot of the top agents in the country, regardless of their franchise affiliation or company affiliation, went for their training. And so I just learned from the best of the best. And I decided if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it well. And I just implemented everything that I could. And I took action, massive action. And it didn't matter to me that I knew not a single person. It didn't matter to me what age I was. I just decided I was going to be good. And so I think that's part of what everyone has to kind of incorporate into their business, regardless of the stage that you're in, your age, or where you're at in your life. So I elected to have those high standards, and so for part of the mindset, let's start with the first M, and that would be mindset. And just getting into this business, dealing with it every day. We all know it's challenging. I myself have had a very, very stressful week. I have my own home on the market and put it under contract here in Naples, Florida. And there's nothing like sharpening your game when you have to be the seller and the realtor at the same time, right? I think every realtor needs to buy and sell a house and go through it. And especially a luxury home, because you are getting it prepared for the market. It's extremely stressful. So I actually put myself in two shoes this week, one dealing with my husband, but also dealing with me as being, the seller, and also, and all the ups and downs of that. And so that really, I think, is a good lesson for all of us, just to kind of pay attention and tap in. So let's start with you first on that mindset. Having those high standards and the professionalism. And I think the misconception of selling luxury homes is that you have to live it and work it, or live in a luxury home yourself. From day one, getting into the business, I elected to be the best, regardless of what price point I was selling in. And so I think, what makes a luxury agent is that you can deal with everyone, regardless of how much money they have, regardless of the type of home they have. And so our philosophy, and my philosophy, and I know this of the luxury council members as well, is the best luxury agents are people who can deal with all walks of life, all levels of income. Big or small, we sell them all. It has always been my motto from day one, getting into the business. And so I would encourage you to have your own value system and have those models that, and who you are as a person. So for me, like I said, I can sit at a kitchen table with a farmer selling land. I can set it at a kitchen table, regardless of how much money they make or their lifestyle. And so that makes for any great realtor. And so really understanding the people, asking a lot of questions, being real. People want to know the truth. They want to know that you're honest and that you're credible and that you're very, very good at what you do, and that you're going to treat your money like their money, like it's your money. And actually, that's one of the scripts that I use every single day. I use it 3 times this week. When I had a stressed out luxury seller that is not getting the price that perhaps that he wants. And, so they're going to start blaming you, right, for every little thing you're doing wrong when you're not really doing anything wrong. So, it was just having that mindset of, listen, your money is my money, and I'm going to go, you're doing this on their behalf. So just wrapping your head around that. Don't be afraid of selling luxury homes. I mean, bottom line is, a lot of people are just afraid. They're afraid to talk to people who live in luxury. They think that maybe perhaps that you aren't, capable of handling that price point. You just add a zero, to be honest with you. It's a couple zeros sometimes, negotiating an $800,000 or an $8,000 purchase, $800,000 or an $8 million. I mean, in the end, they're people. And they have feelings, and they have emotions, and they have stresses in their life. And some of the people that I know that have a lot of money have also a lot of stress in their life. And so what has to happen is you have to be the answer. You have to be the solution. And especially now, I think regarding just, the ups and downs of this market, the ups and downs of our industry, We're heading into uncharted territory, right? Like, with just a lot of things and coming off of COVID and just everything. I think if you're the solution, you are going to stay in this business. And so having that mindset of high standards, regardless of that price point, is super important. Knowing who you're talking to, I guess I'm really big on DISC personality profiling, which that's another class that can be taught. Just knowing there's a difference, the husband, the wife, whoever you're dealing with in that relationship, you have to understand the big picture. And so just asking 1,000,001 questions and not being afraid to ask those questions. You have to get to the bottom of what's really, really going on, right? Like they're going to tell you one thing, but asking and peeling the onion back, so to speak, and asking those questions and really digging deep with that person. Having a plan, delivering that plan, being a person of your word, being responsive. I mean, all of those things come with just that mindset. But first and foremost, it's going to start with you, and you have to believe it. Someone has to sell these luxury homes, and it might as well be you, right? That's my approach. They need a great agent. They need someone to service them. They need someone who's creative. They need someone who's going to be an awesome negotiator on behalf of their money. So every wealthy person or person who lives in a luxury home, they worked hard for their money. They're smart. They're not, but like I said, they're normal people. They are totally normal people, and you just have to figure out how you can help them. And so I think that's just half the battle right then and there. Having that, I guess, that emotional connection, it's not always the IQ. I mean, I would like to think that I'm a smart gal, but honestly, I was not the smartest person in my class. I always had to study 3 times as hard. That doesn't come naturally for me. I'm not a numbers person like some people are. I just have the gift of gab. So, but I would like to think that I'm able to connect with people and I'm able to relate to people. And I think that's super important, regardless, like I said, of their wherewithal and their financial status. So, anything you can do to keep yourself up too. There's going to be times in this business that you're stressed out, right? So I literally just had an 1.5-hour massage 10 minutes before I popped on here. So, I went and put some lipstick on. I lost one of my diamond earrings even within that massage. So, everybody has life stresses, and every realtor has a lot of shit going on. I call it the shit show sometimes, right? So we have to keep ourselves in that frame of mind. And sometimes that means taking a pause. The power of pause. Sometimes it's just about breathing. Sometimes it's just about, doing something for yourself. We serve other people all the time, and it's time that we start serving ourselves, or we're not going to be here to serve anyone else. So take care of yourself first and foremost. You've got to put your own oxygen mask on, correct? And really just be, so that you can be you and be the best version of you. For those of you, like right now, it's Christmas time. People are stressed, moms are stressed. How many of you are Santa as well as, as everything else you've got going on in your life? So, I think just taking a moment and doing things that are good for you and your own health and mindset is just super crucial. And that's something that I've made a part of my own life throughout my entire career. I have 4 children. They're 4 boys. It's not easy at any given moment. There's always something going on. And I built that business while I had those children. So like many of you, we all have various things that we're juggling. So taking care of yourself is first and foremost, and keeping that mindset sharp. Nobody wants a surgeon operating on them when they're not in their right frame of mind, correct? No one wants someone that is halfway present. So even putting your phone up, I when I'm with someone and I shut the phone off. And so I think it's just important just to kind of be where you are, be you, take care of you, and keep yourself in that mindset. And now more than ever, that mindset is going to come into play. And so we can expand a little bit on that as well. So the next M would be marketing. We all know that marketing is the name of the game. I showed up in a town where I knew no one, and I had to get known really fast. So I was the marketing queen, from getting a moving truck day one into my business and plastering my name and my face on there to, I mean, I now have billboards and TV and radio. However, I didn't build my business that way. But whatever it is, you need to look at your marketing plan and you need to double down. And you need to double down now more than ever in your entire career. And I don't care how many years you've been in the business. If you are just starting out, I know agents who have been in 2 years and who are shining brighter than people who have been in it for 25. Okay, so don't ever think for 1 minute, if you're new, that you can't do this and that you can't come out and be a superhero within a year. It's just that's how our business can change. If you've been in it a long time, which I can't see the whole screen here and I don't see the age groups, but if you've been in it a long time like me for 26 years, then me more than ever, I have to be different. People copy me, right? Like in my town in Northwest Indiana where I have my business, I'm very much copied. I have to always be different, because if I do something, someone's going to copy me, and next thing I know, it's not different anymore, right? So I have to stand out. I've always had to stand out. So in the beginning, it was being honestly with a different company. It used to be Century 21 land for me, in where I was, but then all of a sudden, I was like, I've got to be different. I didn't want to be in that sea of gold jackets and gold and black signs. So I was the first one to actually open a Keller Williams franchise, when no one had heard of Keller Williams, when Keller Williams wasn't even cool. So I had red signs everywhere, right? And so I stood out. So the big thing about in luxury and also in just selling houses, period, and in this business, you have to be unique. You have to have that unique value proposition. So now is the perfect time to take a look at that, right? It's at the end of the year, the best time to, assess your plan. What do you want to keep doing? I do the keep, start, stop. What do you want to keep doing that's working well for you? Let's just keep doing it. Let's double down on that. What do you want to start doing? Perhaps start doing some things that you have never done before, but you want to add that to your, to your entourage of everything that you're doing. And what do you want to stop doing? Maybe you're just spinning your wheels on some things, or you're just, you have too many balls in the air. I mean, every realtor, I like to call it the balls and the plates. We all have all these plates and balls, and I want you to put a 5 in every single one of them, because what's happening is you're giving 5% effort and you're getting a 5% result. And so what you have to do in order to really double down and to have that that mastery level is to leverage and remove some of that off your plate and just focus on a few things and do those things well. And I know as realtors, we all get caught up. We're all getting 1,000 emails. We're all getting coaching programs and different things to try and do. And you're on social media and you're just, your head's about to blow up. But if you just focus on a few things and do those really well, that is going to actually help you and instead of hurt you. But again, that goes back to that mindset, that very focused mindset, right? And of professionalism, of high standards. Do we want to do it all? Absolutely. Can we do it all? No. So, but just take a good look at your business and then that marketing plan. But luxury sellers, especially, you're going to have to spend some money on their property. End of story. And if you don't have that money to spend, then you're going to have to make that commitment to invest and be willing to let go of that money if you can't get that property sold. There's been many times that I've invested $10, $15, $20,000 and didn't get a return. But there's also times that we do get a return and we're thinking, wow, I made that commission and did I really even, do it? But in the end, you have to invest in these people. They want the best of the best in that luxury arena. One of the things that I'm really proud of is what we're rolling out with our EXP luxury division is that we have that collateral. We have those websites. We have, you know, the overall package, the reporting, and it's going to be in all the fine, beautiful places. And so that's very exciting for us, because some of us haven't had that. We have to buy it on our own, right? We've had to hodgepodge it together. And so the council we're all committed to making EXP Luxury the best luxury out there. So you can go up against anyone in your marketplace, sit at that kitchen table, and be confident that you have the tools prepared to be able to land that luxury listing. So, but how you present yourself is also part of the marketing. I mean, what do you wear? What do you, I'm sorry, but what car do you drive? I mean, you know, how do you present yourself, and how do you present yourself all the time? You know, do you show up? You know, I mean, there's a certain image, and let's face it, especially in the luxury arena, you know, you need to step up and show up. So, and I don't want to go on and on about that. You can ask questions. But you know, if you don't live it, or have it, you need to pretend you live it and have it. I mean, to a certain extent. And that's easy to do. You can observe in any luxury magazine. Sometimes I get out of that luxury arena of real estate, and I actually study what other luxury companies offer. It can be from their wording, it can be from their just their service. You know, we all used to know that Nordstrom's was kind of known for their service, right? There's lots of different companies out there that do a wonderful job when it comes to that a luxury arena. And so just reading, you know, reading entrepreneurial magazines, reading, you know, Forbes, reading different things that, I mean, most people with money are entrepreneurial spirited, or they're business people. And so, you know, you need to have that acumen within yourself. Again, daring to be different and standing out. Don't blend in, you know, and sometimes that means being with a different company. Sometimes that means, you know, spending a little extra money on your business cards, right? Not just having the normal business cards, not just having the normal listing presentation. It's rising up and having that marketing that is like, wow. You know, so that's something that I've always done. I also would recommend going back to that DISC personality profiling. You know, it seems so simple, but every personality, a D, an I, an S, and a C, needs to be able to look at your marketing and be attracted to it. And sometimes I think we just miss that, right? Like we might like shiny things or shiny objects, but then your C personality is going to want stats and statistics and things like that. So, you know, just make sure you're adhering to all the personality profiles in all of your marketing. So a huge marketing review, especially right now, is crucial. Sometimes it's not just you, because we see it all the time, right? I just looked at my website, my Indiana one yesterday, and I was like, oh geez, you know, this needs like totally revamped. So it's like, there's always something that has to be tweaked and changed. And so having that set of eyes, to help you look at it, not just you, and not just your team, because sometimes your team is too in the woods there with you. You know what I mean? You need to almost have someone outside take a look at it and coach you on that as well. So again, just having those classy assets, the language, your personal style and care, your attitude. Now more than ever, you know, we have to have a good attitude, guys. I'm sorry. You know, it's like, if you can't this is actually opportunity time, if you ask me. Every single down market is when my husband and I have become wealthier. Every single down market. And that's because of our mindset. And that's because of taking advantages of the opportunities that are out there. So as agents, there are so many opportunities out there. You're going to have agents that don't want to play in this game or this arena heading into 2023. They're wore out. They're exhausted. They don't know what to do, perhaps, and they're going to quit. So now is the time that you can get market share. And every single bad market, I usually improve my market share. And then that's when you develop skills, right? Like there's a gift in every shift. And you just have to look for those gifts and those opportunities. And that's exactly what, so if I were you, I would be super excited about 2023. I know I am, because what's happening here, even in Naples, Florida, is that you get people that are like doom and gloom. We just had a hurricane, for God's sake, right? So most people are like not even thinking about getting into real estate. They're thinking about getting, like, definitely not entering in, but if they are entering in, they're having everyone tell them how horrible it is and how stressful it is. Actually, now is the best time to get in, because there's probably a lot of tired and worn out agents that don't want to play in the game anymore. So if you're finding yourself in that place yourself, and I've been there myself, there were times I wanted to quit this career. You got to find something though that's going to light your passion again. And for me, that was EXP. I mean, this is not an EXP promotion, but honestly, I'm being real with you. For me, I was wore out. I was tired. I had done the Keller Williams, bandwagon for 11 years of my life. Regional director for them, everything. I came to Florida to get away, and then I start selling luxury homes here. And I was with the Caldwell Banker system, and I was just wore out and tired though. And I needed something to ignite me again. And so for me, that was EXP, and there's many other reasons for that. But so just know that your marketing matters, your mindset matters, and your attitude matters. And so take a look at that. And right now would be the perfect time. The next 2-3 weeks, sit down, have a half a day, and just look at everything and decide what you're going to keep, start, and stop. The next thing is the next M is meeting. Who are you meeting? And what I mean by that is, the people, who are you hanging with? Maybe you should do an assessment of who's around you. Who are you putting yourself in the room with? When you're in luxury, you're going to you should be hanging with a lot of different people. And that can be from joining your local golf course community. When I moved here, I actually joined a golf and a beach club. And so that put me in the room, or in a group of people who lived in all kinds of subdivisions, but they were people that had a certain, I guess, wealth, or they wouldn't have been able to join that club. So, put yourself in those rooms. That can even be you attending a conference, and paying for that platinum ticket, instead of the general session, right? How are you going to elevate yourself and put yourself in a room where the conversations are different, where the mindset's different, where the motivation is different? Everything is different in that room. And I'm going to use a perfect example. I went to a conference. I went to a 10X conference one time, and the people in that 10X room's mindset is different, right? They've leveled up. They have, if you're a Grant Cardone follower, or whether you like Grant Cardone or not, but I was a 10X follower way before Grant Cardone joined EXP. So I went there though, because I needed a mind shift. My mind was not good. My mindset was not good. My son said, "Mom, I want to go to this 10X conference." I said, "Great, I'll go with you." And I realized that at 52 years old, I'm 57 now, at 52 years old, I needed to wake up, that I had a lot more to give and to do and to be. And so, but I also realized maybe who I was hanging around with, or, feeding and who was in my room, maybe was having something to do with that. Right. And so I put myself in a different room, in a different arena. I started learning from different people. I started, thinking differently. And so, I remember spending a lot of money on a 10X ticket one time, probably more than most would ever spend on any ticket. But, that was when I got to sit and meet Michael Valdez with our company. So again, sometimes you get to be in that room and you get opportunities, right? Those opportunities can be someone who has a very nice home to sell. It could just be a new friendship for you. I look at everyone as a prospect, to be honest with you. You never know why people are coming into your life. And it's not like I want to list or sell a house. I'm not that realtor that shows up and says, "Hey, I'm a realtor." But I put myself in those rooms because you never know where the next relationship, friendship, all of that leads to business and to having a better quality of life. So, but recently I attended Build. How many of you went to the Build conferences? Any of you? Great. So you might have saw, I actually spent the platinum ticket, right? I paid for the platinum ticket. I was on one of the front rows. Tony Robbins was the speaker. You know, he got to come and speak to 5,000 EXP agents. And I brought a guest. I brought a friend. And I bought her ticket, which was also a platinum ticket. And she's the one that actually got picked out of all those 5,000 people to get up and talk to Tony Robbins. Now, had I not put myself in the room, because I thought about not even going, because I was busy, right? But I put myself in the room. And when I put myself in the room, I strategically placed myself in a platinum seat. And then I also had my friend who I felt like, needed to hear the message. So she was there and I put her in a platinum seat. And then she got to speak to Tony Robbins and meet him. And he used her as an example in one of his things. So that never would have happened had I not been in the right room. So many times in my life, I've been in the right room. But what happens is you have to put yourself there. And you have to be you have to make it happen, honestly, yourself. And sometimes it's scary. Sometimes it's taking out the charge card and making it happen. I remember the day I used to spend money early on in my career. I was broke. I didn't have the money to spend. I just given up a job, a company car, a salaried position, security, right? And I remember my husband saying, are you ever going to make any money? Like all you're doing is spending it. Are you ever going to make any money? And I said, just have some faith in me. So, have some faith. It's the money that you're spending. Pay close attention though. I'm not just saying charge whatever. But pay some attention onto what's going to take you to that next level. What do you need? In order to do more, you must be more. And so first and foremost, it starts with you. So that's on the meeting thing. We can talk a little bit about that too. That could be from, going to open houses, meeting luxury builders, meeting luxury developers. Whether they're luxury or not, it doesn't matter. They're in the arena. So put yourself in those rooms and so that you can build those relationships with people, clubs, golf courses. Golf, I negotiated an $8 million deal on the golf course. So just make it happen and put yourself at the table, right? And put yourself at the table you want to be sitting at. The next M is motivation. And that would be just being honest with yourself. How bad do you really want this? If you don't want it that bad, then maybe you should, and I hate to say this, maybe you should get out of the business. Or maybe you should jump on a team, right? If you can't do this alone, do it with other people. There are plenty of people that have the same mindset, that motivation, the marketing that's already created, the brand that's already built. Some people just need to maybe get on someone else's team and do it with them, right? You have all this, but why reinvent the wheel? Sometimes it means moving over. Sometimes it just means raising your game and having that mindset. So being self-motivated, no one ever motivated me. I had it in myself. No one ever said, go Jana, go sell more houses. That was all on me. And so I think a lot of times realtors are depending on their brokerage, or they're depending on their team lead, or they're depending on, that franchise to, and then they're disappointed, because someone let them down. In the end, it starts with you and that motivation. So you have to ask yourself and be real honest on a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated am I to do this? Are you going to halfway do it, or are you going to go all in? Are you going to double down? Are you going to master it? And are you really going to stay in the business? Maybe you're in the business. Maybe you want to get out. I don't know. Those are conversations that you need to have with yourself and then make a decision. But like I said, there's lots of opportunity right now. And if you ask yourself how bad, and then you just have to have enough put enough time on the task. Sometimes it's time on the task over time. And, taking that massive action and giving it that massive focus that you want. So the last one is make, and that's the last M. And so I know that's an odd word, but we're going to play a little game here, and I want to open it up so you can maybe turn everybody back on so you can, there, and I can't see you all. I wish I could. Let me see if I can change my view so I can see the whole gallery. There you go. Yay. Okay. Oh, I see Christina has Grant Cardone with her there too. So Christina's a 10Xer there. Okay. So when you think of the word make, I want you just to share with me like some words, and I've got my own little make words. But make what? Make, just throw it out. Shoot it out for me.
Oh, someone just said
Connections.
yeah, connections. Yeah, everybody, feel free to unmute yourself or raise your hand.
Yep. Or if you put it in the chat, maybe Lisa, can you, because you're reading the chat?
I sure can. Yep. So Kelly said reputation. And Chandra said make it happen.
Oh, I like it. Chandra's on my team, so oh no, who said that?
Shonda Levy.
Okay, I like. Okay, any others? Make what?
Let's see.
Make it happen. I like it. Make it happen. What was the other one?
Someone said name recognition.
Make a Yep.
Make real estate fun again.
Yes. That was one of my
Marissa said make every day count.
I like it.
I love that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay.
I would say something about make sure that you are really thinking, what can I do next that will really make someone's life better?
Right.
How can I make, I stop myself, and a lot of times I try not to go too far down the road, but what's the next right thing I can do to serve someone else? And I always get the answer immediately.
Right. I love that. And so that's making a difference, being that solution, kind of like what we talked about is, everyone has a problem. And if you just ask the right questions, you're going to find out what their problem is, or their hole in the shoe, or their greatest challenge. And this is whether you're recruiting or helping a seller. I mean, if you just tap into that emotional intelligence and what can I do to serve them and be of value to them and help bring a solution to their problem, you're going to end up being the winner. So, so I love the makes. Some of the ones that I came up with were make a difference, make change, contribution, similar to what we just talked about, make things fun, right? Like, and that's one of the misconceptions, honestly, of luxury, is that so many people think that luxury people aren't fun, or maybe they're stoic, or they're, a little, but honestly, every single person wants to have fun in their life, every single person. And so bringing that energy, bringing that, like, let's make life fun, right? Like, life is too hard, it's too short, and enjoying that journey. And so making real estate fun again, obviously, is our motto. And that's one of our core values. But honestly, just making this transaction where it's not so stressful, and adding some fun, making memories. How many of you are really making memories and stopping and trying to help others make memories? Selling luxury, like for us, especially in second home markets, right? We're selling a lifestyle. We're selling fun. We're selling, I don't want that anymore. I want this now. That's what we're selling. And so sometimes it's not about the house. It's about the emotional side of things, and helping them, tap into that fun, help them make memories. And so in the end, that's why I love selling in Naples, Florida, because people buy on emotion. It's like they don't want someone to be grouchy. They want, and sometimes they say they're not going to buy, and then they buy the next day. Okay, because they're excited, right? Like, so everybody wants that fun in their life. So making fun, making memories. How about if we make believe? How about if you make believe that you are a luxury agent already? If you're not, how about you pretend you are? How about you do a vision board? And how about you put all of those things on your vision board? Every single year we do a vision board. My whole entire team does it. So how about you do that? And if you don't, whatever it is for you, whatever that hot button, and sometimes it's not about material things. It's about, just dreaming. How about you dream, make dreams happen, you for yourself, but also for other people. Because when you're selling luxury or any type of real estate, you are making dreams happen. And so I want you to tap into your own dreams. I want you to take the time to do a silly vision board. I know you think it's silly. I've thought it's silly for many years, but you know what? When I pull the old ones out, I've accomplished all of that and more. And it's like, whoa, that stuff works. Okay. So another thing was make right. Make right. What are some wrongs that have happened either with some clients or possibly a deal that's going on right now, or friends, or maybe team members? Why don't you make right? Sometimes that gets you a long way, goes a long way too. Sometimes it's just better to be kind than right. And so maybe that just means we need to make good, make right, make things better, right? I mean, that's what in the end, we're trying to make things better for people, for ourselves, for our families, making a living, make a living. And there's nothing wrong with making a profit, and there's nothing wrong with making a lot of money. Sometimes people, I think, are afraid of that. Give yourself permission to make a profit. Give yourself permission to ask for the larger commission. Give yourself permission to be wealthy. And the more money you make, the more you can give, or the more you can do with whatever it is you want to do. But sometimes you've got to give yourself that permission too. One thing maybe no one said was make love. And everyone giggles about it, but let's make some love. And you can view that in any way, shape, or form you want. But maybe if you make some love, you'll make more money. You know what I mean? I don't know. But again, that goes back to the having fun and just coming from a place of abundance, from contribution, from value. That's always been our model and motto. You win in life by helping others, right? And so if you help enough people get what they want, we've all heard that saying from Zig Ziglar, you get everything in life you want. And so the make thing was just my own little fun little thing I threw in. But actually, I'm going to make that my word for 2023. Every year I have a word. 2 years ago, it was more. So everything surrounded more. We were going to do more business. We were going to do more marketing. We were going to get more results. I mean, every single thing. And so we implemented that word not only in my daily life so that I wouldn't forget it, but we implemented it everywhere with my team as well, and in our real estate business. And we still use that word more on a lot of things. You get more results, more, make it more everything. So last year, my word was impact. I decided I knew a lot of people, but I wasn't making a real impact. Perhaps I was spread too thin. And so I decided I was going to just do an impact and on every shape of my life. I started a charity. I made an impact in my town with that charity alone. So sometimes it's your little ideas that you have that you're afraid to implement. Go do them. My little idea came starting a Facebook group, and it evolved into 25,000 local members, and it turned into a 501c3. So it was a silly idea. I shared it with my husband, and he rolled his eyes. So just don't let people stop you. Okay. Don't let anyone stop you. If you have an idea, act on it. How many of you have driven by a house before and was a for sale by owner and you think, oh, I really should call that number. And then you didn't. And then 2 weeks later, the sign pops up with a realtor. Make the call, go with that intuition, make that call. The other thing would be, so impact was that. So this one is make. This year's make for me. I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to make changes in my life. I'm going to double down on certain things that I need to double down on, right? I'm going to make right with things that maybe I've held on to, I'm definitely going to make a living, and I'm definitely going to make love. So how about that? But so I'm going to open it up to, I've got a few things that like some must do's. I don't know if you want me to share those with you.
Yes, please.
I just feel that, I'm in a lot of groups and I listen to a lot of top agents and teams, especially teams. I just think there's a lot going on right now. And I think that, it's a scary, scary time. And this market is like I said, unusual. I've been in 26 years. I've been through a lot. I've been through interest rates. I've been through 9/11s. I've been through, bad up and down markets. I've been through COVID. I've been through, all the different markets and so I think that, it's just really time. Honestly, the must do's are it's time to, step up and stand out and not being afraid to do that. It's time to take the lead. Be the leader. You are the leader anyway. You're the leader of your own family. You're the leader of your community. It's time to take some leadership roles, even when you're not asked to be a leader. And half of anything that's happened to me in my life is because I've put myself in the room, and because I didn't really raise my hand. Maybe I just took charge. And I didn't wait for someone else to do it for me. So take that lead and really, sharpen those leadership skills and, just embrace it. Listening to your clients. Stop talking so much, just listen. And then asking all those questions that sometimes are super awkward. I always ask on a scale of 1 to 10, how honest do you want me to be with you? And I know that's a simple question, but it breaks the ice. And, I have permission to be brutally honest with them. They need us to be honest. They don't want an agent that's going to tiptoe around or not tell them what they need to hear. I always used to say, I'd rather tell you the truth now than disappoint you later. And so they need that from you. Build a team. If you don't have a team, you need to build a team. I'm sorry. And some of you are like, oh, I don't want a team. No, you have a team around you, whether it's your lender, whether it's your mortgage people, whether it's, if you don't have an admin, you are the admin as well. And sometimes that means, starting to, to build that team that maybe you don't have. If you have a team now, let's say you have the team, like I have a team. Sometimes it means assessing that team and seeing what you can do for that team. As a leader, I try to bring everything possible to my team. I've even hired what I call a Wendy for my team. If you've ever watched Billions, the show Billions, they actually have like someone on staff that helps them cope with hard times, correct? Or be helping them figure it out. And it has nothing to do with selling real estate. In fact, this person has never sold a lick of real estate. So it's not to bring them a coach to list and sell houses. It's to get their mindset right and to help them clear out whatever's breaking them down and causing them to not flourish. So I've committed to my team to hiring this person, and they do group calls with them. They do one-on-ones with them. So whatever it is you need to bring, if you're a team leader, you need to bring it to your team. Now more than ever, you need to bring it. You need to look at the grand scope of things. Give yourself permission to be fabulous, because sometimes we're afraid of that for whatever reason. Look at how wonderful you really are and compliment yourself. Stop beating yourself up that you're not doing enough. because you may be pretty damn cool right now. So just look at that and give yourself permission. Be humble, be kind, don't forget where you came from. I never forget that. Be the change. And then the L's, the magical L's that we've all heard in real estate are leads, listings, leverage, leadership, and luxury. So leads, listings, and leverage were always, that was what I started with and what I always knew and what I always focused on. But leadership and luxury are definitely need to be within those L's. And it's the gift time of the season. So give yourself a gift. And like I said, being good to yourself and that self-care really, really does matter. And then you can be a gift to others. So any questions? Anything you want to talk about? I did not read the chats. I was just talking. Sorry.
Yeah. No worries. I have a million questions, but I want to open up to the group first. And so if you could we only got about 8 minutes left. So
Okay.
hopefully not a question that's too in the weeds, but something that would have to do with, what Jana has shared with us today. Oh my God. I never did this. I literally have like 7 pages of notes and a bunch of questions for sure. But I'd love to open it up to the group first. So if anyone wants to raise hands and get in here with a question, or we can just start and maybe some questions will come up for sure.
I'm not sure if this is too much, so let me know if it is, but I was just wondering if you had any advice for someone starting a team.
Starting a team, yes. Start with an admin. Admins are always first. And my second hire was also an admin. I did everything myself first. Admin did all the administrative functions so that I could go list and sell houses. And honestly, so that I could go from the 20 plates and the 20 balls that we talked about down to 4. And my 4 were then working with buyers, working with sellers, lead generating, and really that, those 3 things. So taking all that off your plate, the administrative functions have got to be leveraged out. And then I found that I grew again. It was worth the investment paying. It was paying that person to help me. What I would recommend is if you're afraid to hire one person, then hire a part-time person, but make sure they work every day for you, not just Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or something like that, because you're going to need them every day. I would go all in with admin first. I did my second admin because what happened is when I got my time back and only focused on listings and sales, and then my business grew, right? And so I was able to go put 25s in those 4 things instead of 5s. And so my business grew, and then I needed another person. So admin, that's the foundation, and they need to be great at what they do. And there's a whole, I can teach a whole class on building a team. And then I leveraged out, my second was leveraged out buyers, because I was a good listing agent, and list to last was always my motto. List to last. You need the politician with the most signs in the yard wins. And so you need listings. If you're in a luxury market, though, like for me in Naples, I didn't carry a lot of listings. I worked with luxury buyers because they were moving here, and I didn't have a name in a brand new market that I started. That's happening now, but in the beginning, I didn't. So I focused on, just focus on whatever you can, but leverage out with admin for sure. Buyer agents are wonderful. I do believe that people do better. Some do better on listings, some do better on buyers, and it's two different games. And so I always believe that you need to be an awesome buyer agent as well. And if you don't want to do it, like I didn't want to do it anymore. I was better at the kitchen table, and it made most sense for me to actually be at the kitchen table. And so I remember giving up working buyers. I did not cherry pick. I actually gave up every one of my buyers and went full bore on listings. And that's when I raised my listing inventory by double. So you just have to, it's whatever you focus on expands, right? And so what do you want more of? And so, but you can't be all people, all things to all people. So that's what I would recommend. And team building can be another, we'll do another Zoom on team building, because that's my passion. And that's what I've done for 26 years. So
Yeah, we'd love to. Maybe we can have you back. I have a couple of quick ones. I just want to make sure we get in. What do you, who do you look for? Who's a mentor to you, Jana, about for inspiration? Whether it's really real estate, but I just mean in general, mindset was so much and woven into everything you did, and certainly everything that Barbara and I work on. Who do you look to for inspiration?
Well, God first and foremost.
Okay.
And sorry. Yeah. And sometimes it's hard because when you elevate to a certain level, you're always the teacher. And so, but God my faith, when worry ends, when there's worry, you need faith for sure. But I love John Maxwell. He's always been, I'm a Christian. I like to try to live Christian ways in my life. And I love John Maxwell. He was a preacher, but he loves leadership. And so I've read every book. My team's read a lot of their books. I've heard him speak. Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn, all the oldies. Go back and listen to them. They're all great. Zig Ziglar, See You at the Top was the first book I ever read. And still to this day, Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, John Maxwell quotes are like, I'm drawn to them. Anyone with a positive mindset, to be honest with you, and I read The Secret. I watched The Secret. I even went on a secret cruise one time. That's like putting yourself in the room. You get to meet a lot of celebrities, and you get to, talk to, I got to meet Jack Canfield, who wrote all the Chicken Book for the Soul things, books and whatnot. But, mine's a variety. And sometimes it's just, myself and having a good old conversation with myself, because I know it and I have it in me. It's just reminding myself, so, but inspiration can come from, sometimes it's coming from some of your friends that have nothing to do with real estate, right? Sometimes it's just getting out of your bubble, because I know we're all in it and we're on that hamster wheel and we're in that grind. And sometimes you have to take the power of pause and go do something else and go around people that aren't even in the real estate business. And then don't talk real estate with them, like just learn from other people. So
I love that. The power of pause. We wrote that down. Barbara and I were like chatting with each other during the thing. Like, we got to write.
Yeah. Sometimes, just the freaking time out, I've tried really hard not to cuss. I am a Christian, but I cuss a little bit. And normally I didn't cuss on this one. I'm super proud of myself. But sometimes, we just go and do. And we're not doing anything, any good for anyone. Right. And so, take a nap. Give yourself permission to take a break and then, get back on that horse and ride. Like, my husband actually said to me recently, if I was having surgery, I would not want you operating on me. And I was like, what? And I realized that I'm a bit of a hot mess at the moment. Right. And so sometimes it's just, yeah. I brain dump a lot. And you know what I do? I do it with a pad of paper and a pencil, because we all have these, I don't know about you, but sometimes I don't sleep well, or sometimes, it's just like all this stuff is going on in my head. And when we're realtors, most of us are probably high I's and D's, a D personality I, and we're running at a super charging pace all the time. And so we have to plug in that battery. We have to sharpen our skills. Or we're going to have that dull saw, and so for me, I brain dump, I grab a notepad. I have lots of different notepads for different things, different, whatever you're working on, like something different. And I just sometimes just write it all down and get it out of my head, because that helps me, get a little more focused and clear.
I use a program called OmniFocus that is really designed to have you cluster your errands as to where you're going, because buying a gallon of milk and paying the mortgage take up the same number of brain cells, right? But what I really use it for is no matter where I am, I'll go, oh, blah, blah, blah. And whatever it is, I put it in there, and I usually put like today, tomorrow, or the next day with a time. And even though I might not do it by those times, it's somewhere that I have actually taken it out of my head so it's not swirling around. And it's a huge coping mechanism for me. And if you're involved in a lot, like so many of us are, you have to develop some kind of a system to be able to dump that stuff, because otherwise it's swirling around and you go crazy. Sure.
Yeah. And just because you have that great idea doesn't mean it has to be implemented now.
Correct.
I stay off social media lately. I just, it's a little too, to me, it's a time waster. I didn't build my business on social media. We didn't even have websites. So, I'm going back. I mean, the basics work, and I'm going to the human connection, and I'm going to, just serving a lot of people well, but doing it, my way.
Yeah. Oh my God, Jana, this has been absolutely amazing. So you have given us so many gems today, taking a look, everybody, at, doing a marketing overview this time of year. I love that keep, start, and stop. That's a simple way to really take a look at everything. And then I love that the M about meeting, really intentionally taking a look at where, if I want to be inspired, if I want to sell more real estate, if I want to sell more luxury real estate, where could I maybe pick one thing, one place, one hobby, one something that I could put myself in a different place than I've been so far, and see how that might, really change. And then, you mentioned the one word, we've been doing the one word with John Gordon's one word process for years with my team and myself personally. And I think being intentional about that, and then putting your one word somewhere and really allowing it to speak to you through the year, is incredibly valuable. Does anyone have like one last question before I let Jana go? Because I hate to let her go.
It's super loud in here, but I dropped it in the chat. But while we're talking about luxury here, is there one just sold strategy that you have found to be most efficient when you close a luxury property?
To get one, or
no, one just sold strategy when you
get more luxury listings after you've closed
get
them.
more,
after you closed it. Okay.
Leverage the sold.
Yeah, well, we always do postcards around the area, letting them know. Even if we brought the buyer to one and it wasn't our listing, send a card out there too. A lot of times people just don't think about that. But if you represented a buyer transaction, then send it just like it would have been, not a just list or not a just sold, but brought the buyer. We brought the buyer to this property. We've actually used signs in the yards too, where we get permission from the buyer to put a sign in the yard. Like, we just bought our home from the Jana Caudill team. So no, just, just communicating, I guess, that you sold it and being loud and proud. Now you guys have social media. We didn't have social media to do it. So you can do it definitely on social media. But, I would just think those neighbors talk, getting the sold sign, the sold writer up right away on properties, so that they see that you sold something that matters, instead of not putting one up. And just, I think the realtors get a little braggadocious about their closings and their solds though on social media. To be honest with you, I'm a little on that right now. I just don't, I don't know. I think a lot of people think we make a lot of money and we don't deserve it. So I take more of a humble approach. I would rather build it with relationships and connections, and for people to just think that I'm really smart and good at what I do. I'm not a selfie queen. My boobs have never hung out in any of the presentations. I'm sorry, I have them, but I just don't operate that way. And I think I'm trying to raise the level of professionalism in our business and our industry, not only locally, but also for others. I just think that that's so important. Yeah. So
I think that's amazing.
Just be you. Just be professional. Just be you. People want a smart version of you. They want the real you. They want to know that you care. They want to know that you're gonna, and then have a party. Have a party for them. Have them invite all their friends to their brand new house. if it was the buyer. And then on the list side, you know, just marketing, you know, showing results. One of the things that has always worked for us is we take all of our solds and put like all of them on a huge, massive postcard. And we just, it's results. What do sellers want? They want buyers. They want results. They want an agent that gets the job done. So, you know, maybe don't just put one home on it, put them all on there, you know, a bunch of them on there. Sold, 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 brought the buyer, sold, you know, whatever it is. I mean, I mail that out to my sphere all the time, as well as sometimes an entire subdivision or an entire zip code.
Amazing.
Thank you so
Well,
much.
oh, yeah, I'll tell you one thing, and then we'll end on this. You are amazing and fabulous. And I loved on your to-do list to absolutely give yourself permission to be fabulous. So I want each and every one of you to
go
give
be
yourselves
fabulous.
permission, yes, to be as fabulous as you already are. Just be that, own it. And Jana, you have really impacted my life by your work and your commitment to a luxury. I know when we met in Orlando at a National Association of Realtors conference, you just were beaming, and you don't know me from a hole in the wall, and you were so willing to just jump in and do this mastermind for us. And I appreciate your generosity. I appreciate your knowledge. I appreciate you as a business partner at eXp Realty. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful holiday
Thank you,
season. That's
Lisa.
for sure.
Pleasure being on for you guys. I wish you all the best. Have a wonderful holiday season. So take care, guys. Thank you.
Anna.